My name is Corey. I live in downtown Central Florida, and this garden was not cheap. Why do I keep doing it? Let me show you. So long story short, I'm successioning growing potatoes. So every 2 weeks, I get more potatoes. So I have another bed down there, a whole bed, my metal bed, which is 6x3. And I just filled it up, and I filled it up with potatoes I bought from a nursery for $1.98 a pound. And we'll see how those do. I hope they do well, because whatever. But my thing is saving half of my potatoes for seed, putting them back in so I don't have to buy any more potatoes again. I don't want to buy any more seed. I save seeds. So this was an investment. I started with garden 1 alongside my house, where it was nothing but weeds, and it was beautiful. It was where my chickens were, my garden was, and then I looked past it and I was like, why don't we just take this garden to the shed all the way down, which would double the size of my garden. So I did, and as I finished that last wheelbarrow of wood chips, I looked across the yard and went, let's build a garden on that side. So we did. So this was 3 years in the making. My boo started building me beds, and at that time materials just went bonkers. And he built me 1, 2, 3 beds out of wood and metal, and deep, tall. I think they're probably about 3 foot tall. One of them's 9 foot long. One's a 4x4, and one's a smaller one just for my blueberries. But so then I went on the internet and I started buying these metal beds, and they were 2 for $120, which it's not bad. So I started buying those, and then I bought more, and then I bought more, and then I had to fill them. And that's where it gets expensive, because I was not making my own soil at the time. And you have to fill that. And if you fill it with bags from Home Depot, you're talking $12 for decent soil, which really I started doing, and I grew really, really bad stuff out of it. It just didn't have any nutrients. It didn't have any life in it. And so as we go along, I'll tell you how I did that. But I bought this year an entire truckload of dirt. And not just any old dirt. I bought $595 worth of mushroom compost. And it topped 30 of my beds. And I don't just have 30 beds. I have in-ground stuff growing too. And I have in-ground planters, like along sidewalks and stuff, that were already here. And so I topped those off with those too. And it cost me a lot of money. But if you would have thought how much that would have cost buying per bag to do this, it would have been 5 times the amount at least, because just bag dirt alone, filling one of these would cost me over $100. And I have 30 beds of these, and then everything else I got going around the garden. So, and I still have some left over for the rest of the season. So it was an investment. And why I do this, you know, people say, well, it's too expensive, blah, blah, blah. Everybody owns a refrigerator. And I know people that have bought $5,000 refrigerators with fancy screens in front of them. They can tell you what's in there. They have Wi-Fi, all kinds of stuff. $5,000. So if you invest $2,000 or $1,000 in your garden over a period of time, and I'm talking, you don't just fork it out all at one time, but you start one, you start another, and you keep growing it, and you keep growing it, then over time you may have spent money. But it's just like buying a refrigerator. If you have it for 15 years and it's saving your produce, your meat, and your everything else is an investment over time, it may only last you 15 years. These beds may only last me 5, 10 years. I may have to replace one here, one there. But it's an investment, because for the rest of my life now, I am set up to grow my own food, and eventually it pays off. I have not bought, see, I don't live in the country. You can hear the cars going all around me. But I do have chickens all around me too. My neighbors have chickens. I have chickens. We're downtown Central Florida. You can do it. Where was I? The refrigerator. If you can afford a refrigerator, you can afford a garden. I will do this until the rest of my life, my days. This year, that's where I was. This year, I have purchased, I can tell you I have purchased produce-wise. And it's not because I did not have tomatoes. I had tomatoes, but I took all my tomatoes, put them in the freezer until I had enough, and then I made sauce out of them. So I didn't have any tomatoes, and I had a hankering for a BLT. So I bought 3 tomatoes, and I felt kind of dirty about it because I knew they weren't garden fresh tomatoes, whatever, but I did it. I think about some cilantro at some point. Cilantro for me is, it's either there or it's not. It's either there or it's not. It like loves life and then it dies. So if I walk through the grocery store, because we don't have goats, we don't have chicken. Well, we have chickens, but I'm not eating my chickens. Those are for egg layers. We buy meat, we buy rice. I don't buy flour anymore. I mill my own flour. But when I go to the grocery store and I walk past the produce section, I walk past the tomatoes because I have 76 tomato plants in my garden. Like, think about that right now. 76 tomato plants in my garden. I walk past potatoes. I still may buy a potato here and there, but I can buy a bag of potatoes, and I usually don't eat them. I put them in the ground, and I grow more. I've got Swiss chard, my greens, my salads. My salad season is not right now. This is the first week of May. But I have a little shady spot over in the corner where I'm going to try to grow some more lettuce. I just planted the seeds last week. Seeds are cheap. Nothing in this garden that we're eating was from a nursery. I have planted everything from seed, and I start in December. I have a little greenhouse, and which was an investment. I bought it for my birthday, for myself. I always buy myself a little birthday present, and that was my birthday present to me. And it's funny because that gives me, it's not funny, it gives me like 3 months on seed growth before my season starts. I started planting at the end of February, and I always have stuff going in, like my winter crops and stuff were already in here, but my springy stuff in Florida, I started planting in February. But I had the seeds started, my flowers, my peppers, which take a long time for me. I started them in December. So in February, they're already 3 months old. So it gives me a little head start. But it was an investment, but I don't have to buy another greenhouse again. I use it for storage for the rest of the year because it's 200 degrees in it because it's Florida. But I'm just letting you know right now, dirt's not cheap, but now I'm making my own. And now that I have this mushroom compost in my garden, all I have to do is top it off. So this week, when I was ready to pick these, and these all died back, all these potatoes just died back, and they were ready to pick, I called up my daughter, and she had me on speakerphone. The babes were in the back of the car, and I said, hey, you want to come over and pick some potatoes with me? And these babes come from a mother, my daughter. She's not a gardener. She's not a cook. That's how she is. She's a hospice nurse. But I think internally, because I gardened with my daughter, my children, all 3 of them, every single year of their lives. I had them out in the gardens when they were this tall and made them garden with me. And so they know it, and it's inside of them. But these 2 kids, they didn't grow up around a garden. I have 4, they're 4 and 2. And they love my garden. They love picking flowers in the garden. They love picking a carrot out of there. So I told them, let's come over and let's pick a potato. So they came over and they're really excited. And they were really excited. It was fun. And we ate those potatoes that night. And they picked 3 beets, and I roasted beets, and I roasted potatoes, and they picked them, and they knew where they came from. They did not come from a grocery store. And I think it's really, really important that your investment of money is educating your babes, your children, to grow their own food. And educating them that investing in a piece of your property to grow your own food, how important that is. It's not a life or death thing. It's a natural thing. It's like catching a fish and eating it. You know, you want to teach your boy or your girl how to catch a fish, how to fish. I mean, everybody should know how to do that. I grew up on the lake, so we were fishing day one. It's an investment, just like the refrigerator. You can buy a $800 refrigerator. You can buy a $5,000 refrigerator. They're going to do the same thing. You don't even have to spend any money to have a garden. You can literally call Chip Drop, have a dump truck full of chips in your, what is that called? Driveway, and grow your food out of mulch. And I am doing that. And eventually I think I'm going to have no containers and just growing in my mulch. But it takes time for the mulch to break down and so on and so forth. So I'm working on that. But I wanted some sort of immediate, gratification. So I'm doing this. And there's mulch in here. There's mulch on top of the beds to keep the moisture from drying out in Florida. What I'm saying is an investment of time. Every day off I have, I'm out here for as long as I can be, and I'm growing things. And I don't know if my whole entire family appreciates it as much as I do. Actually, I have one daughter. She lives on 3 acres, and she has a massive garden, and it's beautiful. And she's growing in mulch. She has beds. She has a couple metal beds, some that were built by her husband. We found a bunch of pallets that were non-treated, and she built a bunch of beds out of that. And so there's ways, and you start with one, then you add another, and then you don't feel like you're investing a lot of money, but you're going to invest time. If you really care about it and look at it every single morning, the first thing I do, get a glass of water, and I walk around my garden and look and see who's happy, who's not, who fell off a trellis, who needs to be picked up. So, as I'm saying this, start small and keep growing your garden bigger and bigger every year, and teach your family, because that education is more than you could ever do for a child, is how to grow your own food, where it comes from, what's on it. The only thing I put on my garden is compost tea that I make myself, and it's really, really cheap. And I do it every single week, because every single week there's moths that lay their little eggs on top of my squashes, on top of my kale, and then when they hatch, they eat everything up overnight. So I spray. I'm not deep watering my beds with the compost tea. I spray the foliage, the leaves with them, and it kills those eggs. I have to do it every week because this is crazy. It will go nuts overnight if you don't. And so I spray it every single week. In fact, I made some last night, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to put it in my little ortho container, and it sprays it. Spray all the leaves, and they take in the nutrients from the worm compost tea, and it kills all the bugs. Bugs hate it. So yeah, I could be sitting around watching TV or having wine lunches with my friends, which I do once a month. But no, I do this, and it's exercise, and it's healthy, and it's valuable. But I'm going to leave you with this. The experiences you have with your babes, or just coming out here and sharing food with my friends come over. I'm like, you want some kale? Here's some kale. And they're like, what? I'll tell you this story. We had birthday party wine lunch with two of my friends. One of them was vegetarian. I bought them like little towels and a bottle of wine. But I went out to the garden and I made them both. I had dinosaur kale and curly kale, and I made them these bouquets, and they're really cute. And I wrapped paper towels, wet paper towels around them, and a rubber band, and I put them in their bags, and it was like this little kale bouquet. And the vegetarian goes, oh my God, did you grow this? I'm like, no, I went to Publix and bought it. Why would I do that? Yes, I grew it. So they were just like, oh my God, this is so cute. And she goes, what is it? And she's a vegetarian. And I went, it's kale. She goes, I've never seen this before. Because they don't sell varieties, 1,000 different varieties of kale that's out there. They sell like one. And so she's never even seen it before, and she's a vegetarian. If I was a vegetarian, I couldn't afford to be a vegetarian in a grocery store, number one. Number two, the types of tomatoes and kale and potatoes and what do I get? Swiss chard, different colors and peppers and all these things. Like if you're a vegetarian, you have to learn how to garden your own food and know what's on it. Why wouldn't you? Anyways, that's all I got, and I'm going to leave you with this little memory that I had this week. It's very precious to me, so enjoy. That's all I got. Watch this. Bye. What's for dinner?
Look at that one. That
Good job.
one.
Get the little ones too. Get the little ones.
Oh, Mama.
So cute. potato. Wow. Look at that beets. That's awesome. Wow. Look at that. We're going to roast those up with some potatoes. Oh, I think that was a flower. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Yeah.
How about another one?
That's all I got today. We're going to make dinner now.